Hello and welcome to Hedgewitch Hearthcraft. I'm Caitlin Rhiannon. Thank you so much for joining me for this look at the week ahead. I'm going to be using tarot cards and oracle cards to get an idea of the energy for the week of December 13th to 19th, 2020, and how we can best navigate throughout or within those energies. So I'm going to be pulling 2 cards for every sign of the Western Zodiac. The first card will be from the Modern Spellcaster's Tarot, and that will give us an idea of what we're going to be dealing with for this next week. And the second card will be from the Moonology Oracle deck, and that will give us some advice on how to deal with the energy of the week. At the very end, I will also be pulling a Universal Manifestation card for everybody who joins me for the video, so do make sure that if you are skipping to the cards that are pulled for your sign, you also jump to the very end so that you can get a little bit of that goodness in your life for this week. So since it is Sagittarius season, let's go ahead and get started with our lovely Sagittarians. Sagittarius, your tarot card for the week of December 13th to 19th, 2020, is the Hierophant. So there is a little bit of restriction or a sense of obligation over this next week. It feels like you are trying to conform to some idea set upon you by somebody else, whether this is something like family's expectations of you, or society's expectations of you, or a cultural expectation or religious expectation. It just feels like you are allowing yourself to be limited or restrained or tucked away from being your wholly open, genuine self. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the third quarter moon card. And this says that some changes need to happen. It advises that you don't stay in this state of being what others want you to be for too long. There's a risk of losing touch with yourself if you allow that to happen right now, Sagittarius. A little while, putting on a mask for the sake of somebody else for a day, for a weekend, that's one thing. But pretending to be somebody that you're not for a long period of time can really damage your perception of who you actually are. So there is this third quarter moon card asks you to make some changes. If you are not heading in a direction that you actually want to be moving in, if this restriction is hindering you rather than helping you, see what you can to leave it behind. Capricorn, your tarot card for the week of December 13th to 19th, 2020, is the High Priestess reversed. So you're a little bit shut out of your inner wisdom, your intuition, your connection to your higher self. You're not really listening, you don't want to hear it, or it's not speaking to you right now, or it's just not speaking clearly. There is a sense of restlessness over this next week and a desire to do something even though you might not know what exactly it is that you want to do. Now, the oracle card that comes along is the Full Moon in Gemini card, which is about communication coming your way, not necessarily a need to reach out to others, but there is a sense of a reminder to be patient. That will help with rebalancing the reversed High Priestess energy. If you can try and ground yourself and calm down or chill out a little bit, that will help with this acceptance of understanding. The answers might not be available immediately to you right now, but they are coming your way. So you need to be in a state of being able to actually listen so that you can understand when you have the answers that you need. Aquarius, your tarot card for the week of December 13th to 19th, 2020, is the World. So it feels like things are starting to all come together, all weave together. You're able to see some of the bigger picture. You're able to see the way that things are developing, and it feels very rewarding. There is a sense of accomplishment, of witnessing your own manifestation and feeling pretty damn good about it. The oracle card that comes along with this is the Fixed Moon. So you're being asked to stay where you are, to continue doing what you are already doing, not to change course just yet, even though it feels like maybe with the energy of the World card, it feels almost like things are coming to their close, they're being finished, they're all being wrapped up. That isn't necessarily the case. There are still going to be some loose ends, a few things that will need to be figured out. So you're asked essentially to stay the course, even though it might feel like things are finishing up, not to move on to something new just yet. Stay where you are, stay driving towards the same goal. And then eventually when you have everything, rather than just seeing the way that it's developing, when you're actually experiencing the direct result of the manifestation, then you're able to shift course. But don't look at something new to do just yet. Pisces, so all those Pisces out there, including myself, your tarot card for the week of December 13th to 19th, 2020 is the Seven of Wands. So there is a sense of preparedness over this next week, a sense of being ready for anything and being ready to take action if there is a need for it. There is a defensiveness with this card, and a willingness to fight if you need to, not necessarily going out and picking fights, but being ready to defend yourself or the people that matter to you, or defend what you have built up. There is, protecting what is yours. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the full moon card. So with the energy of the full moon, there's not a lot that necessarily needs to be done, Pisces. So you're being asked to take a little bit of a step back. You don't need to be so on guard, so ready for anything. Right now, it might not really be up to you to do anything at all. So be ready for the next step, but you don't need to be so tense or so anxious, because this full moon energy is not necessarily taking power out of your hands, but taking some of the pressure off of your shoulders, so that universe is going to be stepping in and doing a little bit of the harder work for you. Aries, your tarot card for the week of December 13th to 19th, 2020, is the Ten of Swords. So as you can see, there's some frustration this week. There is some stress. There is just a feeling of being heavy and overburdened and hurt and grieving, and a lot of your feelings that you have been keeping pushed down and set aside for a later time. Well, guess what, Aries? Later is now. It's time to face your feelings and deal with them and feel them and be unhappy. Be a little bit miserable, be, in a state of grief, or in a state just feeling your feelings and being unhappy, being stressed, so that you can get it out and then not hold on to it anymore. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the fixed moon. So you're being asked to stay where you are, not to avoid your feelings, not to avoid what is happening to you or what you're going through, but to keep focused on the path ahead and to take one step at a time without avoiding what you are going through. If this is a necessary part of your process, then you need to process it before you can actually make progress. So Aries, be gentle with yourself, but do be firm. Allow yourself to feel and be compassionate with yourself while you do, but don't let yourself just put it aside for later, because later keeps coming. It's gotta happen sometime. Taurus, your tarot card for the week of December 13th to 19th, 2020, is the Page of Pentacles reversed, which creates a little bit of material frustration over this next week, especially in a sense of not knowing what to do with yourself materially. You might not know what to do for work right now. You might not know what to do at home, especially to do with your family and things relating to your physical connections and what keeps you present in the real world. You might just be drifting off a little bit in your head, in your heart. disconnecting from the world around you and not really knowing how to come back to this place. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the new moon in Capricorn card, which is a very grounding energy. So there's positivity in that will help. But the new moon in Capricorn is about seeing the benefit of what you have been doing. So even though it feels like you might be drifting a little bit right now, spinning your wheels, not really sure of who you are or what you're doing or where you belong in this world, everything that you have done up to this point is starting to show manifestation. It is starting to work its way back into your life. So that will probably help you to find your direction. So give yourself a little bit of validation and credit and start to celebrate the victories as they come to you. Gemini, your tarot card for the week of December 13th to 19th, 2020, is the Nine of Pentacles. So you are seeing some of your manifestations come to life and receiving some of the abundance that the work that you have done is leading to. But there is a sense of not quite dissatisfaction, but a little bit of disconnection from all of it. Like you're receiving it, but you're not fully appreciating what you have just yet. You might not be seeing the full result of it. And so you're not sure if you want to appreciate it, or you're waiting to appreciate it until you know that it's real, until you know that this is what you want, that it's something good, that it's moving you in the right direction. So try to believe in yourself, Gemini. Try to believe in your worth a little bit more. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the new moon. So a fresh start, a brand new beginning is heading your way. So if you are feeling bored or stagnant, or you've been hesitant to appreciate your rewards because you don't want the journey to be over, then you're being able to move forward. You're being given a chance to appreciate and take that next step into a new journey. So take the time that you have to appreciate what you have done and to appreciate what you have done for yourself, because this fresh start is going to come probably out of nowhere and probably give you a little bit of a surprise, and you might not have time to appreciate everything that you have right now before you move on to the next thing. Cancer, your tarot card for the week of December 13th to 19th, 2020, is the Two of Swords reversed. This brings some mental stress for you this week, and a sense of not knowing what to do with yourself, not knowing your own mind, not trusting your thoughts. You may be a little bit in a little bit of an uncomfortable downward spiral sort of mental energy where you're bringing yourself down, you're doubting yourself, you are kicking yourself over the little things, dwelling on the failures and not giving yourself credit for what you have done, what you have learned, your growth, where you have succeeded. It's a lot easier this week to focus on where things are going wrong and to question yourself, to ask yourself if you're making the right choices, what if you had done things differently way back in your past. Those sort of questions are coming up a lot this week. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the full moon eclipse. So this is bringing endings, like final endings. This ends your stress. This gives you closure and the ability to move on, to let go of some of the things that you are dwelling on that are bringing you down, this sense of focusing on the bad. You're able to leave behind a lot of that bad. You're, opening up your suitcase, trying on what fits and throwing out what doesn't, because you don't need it anymore. You don't need to carry this anymore. So this full moon eclipse brings a huge sense of release and relief and freedom. Leo, your tarot card for the week of December 13th to 19th, 2020, is the Ace of Cups. So there is a sense of emotional fulfillment and being emotionally refilled. So if you have been spending your energy, pouring your feelings out, or putting your feelings aside for the sake of the other people in your life, for the sake of work or necessary tasks, you're being given a chance to fill yourself back up, to renew your energy, to reconnect with your emotional self, and to feel your feelings in a healthy and positive way, rather than dwelling on what isn't working or wallowing in grief. You're allowing yourself to connect to happiness and joy in at least an equal balance. There is probably a little bit more focus on the positive this week. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the full moon in Gemini card. So this is a communication energy, and with it, the advice is to listen. This isn't necessarily about reaching out unless you are in need of something. If you need to reach out for help or advice, this is an excellent time to do so. Otherwise, be willing to listen to advice, even if it is a little bit unsolicited. Leo, this is good for you. This will help you to identify your own path forward. This is not letting somebody else choose anything for you, but it's letting somebody else give you some options. So you're still choosing your own path ahead. You will always be the only person to choose your own way ahead. But over this next week, pay attention to what other people have to say to you, because even if you are just listening to them talk about their own issues, you might find some answers for yourself. Virgo, your tarot card for the week of December 13th to 19th, 2020, is the Queen of Cups. So you are connecting to your emotional self in a really deep and healthy way, and you are being rewarded by the emotions that you are connecting to. Virgo, you're letting yourself be happy. You're allowing yourself to focus on the good, to focus on what is working, and to focus on the connections in your life who help to rebalance you, who matter to you. So there is some communication of your feelings here, expression, understanding, connection, and appreciation. You are appreciating what your heart can do for you, rather than wanting to reject your feelings or push them aside. You are in a state of accepting and integrating those feelings into yourself and into your life. The oracle card that comes along with this is the third quarter moon. So over this next week, you are being advised to adjust your course a little bit. There may be areas in your life where things aren't working, and this connection to your emotional self and really understanding what matters to you will help you to make these adjustments. If there is something or someone or some energy or situation in your life that you're dealing with that is just dragging you down and you have no reason to appreciate it, it has nothing to give you, it's just poisoning the well, clear it out. Pay attention to what needs to change over this next week so that you can put those changes into motion. Libra, your tarot card for the week of December 13th to 19th, 2020, is the Wheel of Fortune. So because this is upright, the wheel is turning in your favor. You are probably going to be relying a lot on chance or on fate over this next week, hoping that divine steps in and makes things happen. For the most part, it looks like that is happening. That the wheel is, like I said, turning in your favor. You're riding on top of it rather than being crushed underneath it. Fate is kinder this week. Not necessarily kind, but kinder. You are being moved in a direction that is mostly positive and beneficial to your highest good end goal. That may feel a little bit uncomfortable, especially not having control over the reins, not being able to steer the direction that all of this is taking. It might just feel like things aren't working. That's probably just because things may not be working in the way that you want them to or expect them to. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the first quarter moon. So you're actually really being asked to make sure that you stay doing what you are doing, even if it feels like you aren't necessarily getting the results that you want. It might not feel like you are seeing the development that you have expected at this point. You're being asked to stay focused on what you want, to stay driving forward, and to not just change course and make a new decision. You are relying a lot on fate this week. Yes, that is true. So don't let yourself be swayed by the way that things are developing. You have a goal in mind, and all of this is taking you towards it. So even if it feels like things aren't going the way that you expect them to this week, keep driving yourself forward. Scorpio, your tarot card for the week of December 13th to 19th, 2020, is the Eight of Pentacles. So this is a protective and sheltering card. You are taking care of those in your life who need you right now. You are prioritizing building and manifesting and making sure that things are developing in a way that you want them to, in a way that is sturdy and stable and supportive of your goals. But it's almost like you're allowing yourself to come second to the other people in your life right now, or to other energies in your life who may need a little bit more focus, a little bit more care. The ones who can't look out for themselves right now, you're just looking out for them a little bit more than you are yourself. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the new moon in Cancer, which is actually a reassurance that you're going to be okay, and that they're going to be okay. You can help them as much as you want to. They are protected. This creates like a safety bubble around you and the ones who matter most to you. So these people that you are going out of your way of to be there for, what you're doing is helping. What you are doing is working. And you're being given a little bit of reassurance that you shouldn't have to worry too much about the way that this is going, that everything that you're doing is towards a greater good. At the end of my readings, I like to pull a card from my favorite manifestation, motivation, affirmation deck, the Super Attractor. So I have pulled one card for everyone who joins me for this reading, just to give us an idea of what to carry within ourselves throughout the coming week. So the card that I have pulled this week says, I choose to be a super attractor and have unwavering faith in the universe. I choose to be a super attractor and have unwavering faith in the universe. I love this card. My interpretation of this one is that it's about choice. A lot of these cards from this deck are about choice. I choose to be a super attractor. I deliberately, intentionally decide that I am going to attract everything that I want into my life and have unwavering faith in the universe. When I choose to be this person, my faith is strong. When I choose to have unwavering faith, my manifestation is strong. These things go hand in hand. But affirmations can be very personal, so what this says to me might say something completely different to you. So please, if it does, let me know what that is down in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me for this look at the week ahead. I hope that the readings in this video have been resonant and that they can provide just a sort of helpful, relevant compass to offer guidance, clarity, insight, whatever it is that you need to get you through the coming week. Please like the video if it resonated with you, and let me know down in the comments what you thought of the cards that were pulled for your sign, what you thought of the super attractor at the very end, what you'd like to see in the future. If you let me know your sign, and if you want your name, I can leave you a shout out when I read for your sign as well in the future. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I upload weekly videos and monthly forecasts like this to give us an idea of what's coming and how to deal with it. And I'll make sure to leave a link to my Facebook page, Hedgewitch Hearthcraft, down in the description below. I post a daily card to give us an idea of what's going on and how to deal with it and how to get towards our highest good. And that's the best way to reach me if you ever want to book a reading of your own. I also have a giveaway going over there, so you might want to take a look at that. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for letting me read for you. I hope you have a fantastic week, and blessed be.